quiet drum carved in bone. Peace within, that's where I begin. No need to prove, no need to win. In every breath, I learn again to live, to love, to just remain. I sat with shadows, made them friends, let go of battles that never end. Now I walk softer, speak with care, leave space for joy in the open air. Peace ain't loud, don't demand. It lives in stillness, it holds your hand. It shows up slow like ocean tide, but once it comes, it stays inside. Peace within, that's where I begin. No need to prove. Welcome no need to Health and Well-Being with Rihanna, where we promote peace within for perfect health. It's Friday, the 13th of March, and I had just such a wonderful day yesterday celebrating my 71st day around the sun. And I tell you, when you wake up starting your day with the statement, today is going to be my peaceful day, miracles happen. And they've been happening every day in my life since I started with the monks' instructions to write, today is going to be my peaceful day. And yes, last night, my family gathered around to dance. We danced on my 71st time around the solar system. And it was so interesting and so amazing. My granddaughter said she refused to dance. She wasn't going to dance. And grandma said, we're going to have a dance contest. Everybody dances, you score them, and whoever wins gets the money in the pocket. My granddaughter said, no, I'm not dancing. Well, as it went, when grandma got up to dance, my granddaughter got up to dance. She didn't want to dance alone. But she danced with grandma for my whole song, The Mirror by Justin Timberlake. That's one of my favorite songs now because it's my cosmic identification, a mirror. And my granddaughter danced with me the whole time without me asking her. It just made my day. It made my day because music is my number one love. And so on the day of that we celebrate, I had cauliflower pizza. I made guacamole, blue chips. It was and no alcohol for me and nobody else really, and no cake and ice cream. Nah. I'm done with that. And my granddaughter actually danced with me on Mirror, Justin Timberlake's Mirror, the whole time. She was following grandma. So I woke up so content, so happy this morning to know that my actions to start my day with peace are really filling over or bubbling over to my family's cooperation, my family's non-resistance, and just general peace and cooperation. It's just been, the last 2 weeks have been really amazing. So welcome to the village, where we promote peace, number one, but we also promote unity. Whatever's going on in the Middle East is going to keep going on until the cousins over there stop fighting. And for now, in America, where we're very privileged, let's just promote tiny house living and promote love and peace and unity. So here's a little video that I created for my tiny house journey that has brought me such peace and organization and so much more. Welcome. warmer today. It actually dropped. The temperature dropped again in Florida, so I had to put on more clothes. But it's okay. It won't last. So here we are in the tiny house village where there's lots of peace, lots of growth, lots of change, transformation taking place. And let me start off with a disclaimer today because we're going to talk about a lot of body issues, and energy to heal your body that some organizations, corporations don't like the truth of what we're going to talk about. So let me say this show is not intended to replace any advice you may be receiving from your doctor. Let's be clear about that. If you have an acute or a chronic health condition that you can't resolve, please see your trusted health professional. And I do mean trusted health professional, because there's a lot of doctors out there who are ignorant, blind, and incompetent. Let me just put it that way. And the topic we're talking about today, I have so much experience with it, that's why I have to give a disclaimer that even though people call me Dr. V and I have a lot of experience over the last almost 40 years, I do have to give a disclaimer because I don't have an MD after my name, but I have experience after my name. I've had several men in my life who allowed themselves to be put on blood pressure medication. And I see so clearly the lack of emotional intelligence in these men. Number one, when you trust your medical professional too much, they become, listen to me, drug pushers. That's all they do is push drugs. And one person in particular who has been in my life for over 40 years um, went to the doctor some time ago with high blood pressure. And what did the doctor say? Here, take a pill. Boom, you're on a pill. You think your blood pressure is okay, except as life goes on, stresses come, stresses go, and you don't know how to handle those stresses very well, other than drink more sodas or drink fast food. Your blood pressure starts going up again. So you go back to the doctor. Doc, this pill's not working. My blood pressure's up again. Here, have another pill. Boom, you're on 2 pills now. Guess what? You are dealing with nothing but side effects from now on. And that's what I see happening with these men in my life who chose to trust their doctors with their blood pressure. So that's why today I found a cardiologist, someone who studied the heart for many years, went to med school, who's now saying, stop worrying about your blood pressure. There's other things to do. So that's where we are. But first, as usual, we want to do some joint rolling. And I now call it meditative joint rolling because after following the monks who walked for 111 days for over 2,000 miles, I transformed into a more meditative mindfulness person, promoting, teaching mindfulness because that's the solution, really is the solution. Not another pill that will give you more side effects, but mindful thoughts about why am I seeing, doing, feeling what I'm feeling, seeing, doing, asking questions. So we do joint rolling. I promote joint rolling as a meditation now because it really is, joint rolling is really like Tai Chi and Qigong. If you practice Tai Chi and Qigong, it's a slow movement of your body that really honors the sacredness of your body, the movement that you can make when you're free, when you're flexible, when you're conscious. So we do joint rolling of every major joint from the neck, which is called a resonant portal. It's actually, when you look at the galactic system, the neck is called a resonant activation portal. Every part, especially the vagina. Vagina is a major portal to do what? bring the sperm in and start the life rolling, right? That's what this biological computer is really good at. It's portal, entering, allowing things to enter so that we can transform and be our very best self. So joint rolling that we do every Friday morning is all about managing this portal system and becoming your best healthy self without drugs. If you're not practicing these things, the Tai Chi, the yoga, the meditation, you're going to end up in a doctor's office. Like last night, I get a text from a friend. She's in the emergency room. She's not practicing mindfulness. She's reading her Bible faithfully and she's praying faithfully, but she's not doing meditation, mindfulness, yoga, Tai Chi work. Not doing it, not doing it. And she's been on going back and forth to the doctor's office. So, this is what happens when you're not doing regular maintenance on this physical body, regular mindfulness practice like joint rolling, meditation, and breath work. So let's just start with what is most helpful from my experience is the breath work. Breathing in, holding it, and then letting it go. Now, I recently learned about a meditative walking that we can all do, and that's as taking two breaths in with every a breath in for every step. So you walk two steps, two breaths in, you hold it for another two breaths, and then the four steps you exhale. That's one very helpful pattern you can get into is walking and breathing with your steps. Brings balance, healing to this body. So when you do that, we're going to do that now is just breathe in two, hold two, exhale for four. You can pick any number you want. The main idea is to just do it. Do it. Do it. Because the exercise of breathing in is actually, in my opinion, worship. You do much better off not going to that Sunday organization, just worshiping with your breath. Breathe in, because guess what? Yeshua, also known as Jesus, said the kingdom is within. It's within. So, how do you activate this kingdom? Breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. This is called mindfulness practice. Breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. Keeping that rhythm going is what keeps your joints, your blood flowing, your circulation, your lymphatic system, your immune system, and your muscles. So let's do some neck rotations to strengthen the muscles around, guess what? The throat chakra. Breathing in, holding it, and exhale. Take your time. Don't go too fast. If you get pain, just stop and say wherever the pain is, just give it a little pat. I love you. I love you. Because it's just a sign that you're becoming inflamed by maybe moving too fast, stiff muscles, all of that works. So breathe in and keep rolling. So we roll in both directions. We're strengthening these muscles when we do this on a regular basis. So you're not going to have any neck problems. You're not going to even have, even your thyroid is getting some activity when you do this type of motion in the throat area. Because guess what? The blood is circulating more when you're actually intentionally moving this joint, stretching this joint. This is our meditation for love of the body. First, love yourself. Fly. That's our motto here. Fly. First, love yourself. You won't need any doctors. You won't need any medicine. You got to love yourself first. And that's what I've seen in the men in my life who did not do these practices. No love for self, but love for doctors. The doctor is the only person I trust, the only doctor. And now they're on 5 or 6 medications. They're obese. It. I had to do some therapy because it. I look at these people in my life and it's just sad, sad, sad. But the therapy had to come for me, not them. They don't want therapy. They want to just trust their doctors and take their drugs, whatever. So I do therapy on me to stop being triggered into sadness, resentment, disappointment. What else? Lack of response to my way, and my expectations aren't being met. What other? Starting from my dad, I had to work on being abandoned and rejected because he divorced my mom. So I'm doing the work still because sometimes I get triggered, not as much about these memories of men rejecting me, abandoning me, and then the sadness shows up, and then I go, let go, let go, let go. It's none of my business, none of my business. So that's where I am. Just a little something out there for you that I'm admitting that I have to work on myself every day because otherwise the people in my life can trigger me as one of them did recently, and then I have to work on myself. Therapy is tapping for me, tapping, letting go of emotion. So now we've stretched the neck muscle by rotating, by stretching, moving side to side, up and down, breathing in and out all the way because this is building our circulation, our immune system, our muscles, and our lymphatic system. All of that just by rotating the muscles, which is a form of Tai Chi and Qigong. My friend Eli Tom Elamine, who's a breatharian, does this every day. He doesn't eat any food, drink any water. Now there are people who are out there who say, "Oh, well, he's fake. He's not doing that." I spent 3 days with the man, and I saw the evidence that he has pure emotional intelligence. He doesn't get angry or sad or go up and down. He's like joy, 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 laughing all the time. He laughs all the time, and he eats no food. He doesn't need water or food every day. He has emotional pure intelligence. So I'm going for that level one day. But for now, I enjoy my tea and my coffee with mushroom coffee. By the way, I digress a little. Someone gave me some rise mushroom coffee, which I've been drinking, and it works pretty good with me. It didn't affect my blood pressure, which we'll talk about. And I realized in the ingredients is some extra fiber stuff that may have been giving me a little gas. So I bought this lion's mane mushroom tea. And I bought some decaf coffee, organic coffee from Sprouts. I put some ghee butter in there, mixed it all up with my nut milk. I have found a new nourishment drink for me. It works wonderful, 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 gives me energy. So, anyway, I want you to try that, whatever you do in the morning. It's always good to change up. Don't keep doing the same things over and over again and you're not getting the results you want. That's not working. Do something different. If it's whatever you've been doing is not working, it's time for a change. So I'm going to be giving you changes you can make throughout the show. So let's go to the shoulders. I know I'm digressing a lot. I have so much in me to share with you, but let's move the shoulders. Breathe in to get the circulation going. Get the back muscles moving. Let's go forward. And you can do this in the morning in bed, first thing in the morning. The only thing you can't do is roll your neck around. You have to sit up. But when you lay on your side, just roll this arm around, go to the other side on your bed, roll the other side around. And you're getting the rhythmic galactic portals opening up. This is also the area of the throat chakra and the heart chakra, which is a green color. I'm wearing green for my heart chakra. So when you do your shoulder, look at all the muscles that are being worked. And then when you roll the elbows, guess what? That's overtone and your solar galactic portals. You're activating all these portals that, guess what, connect to cosmic order, cosmic energy, cosmic organization, We are nothing but seeds of light that came down from the universe. And now we're activating all this light from our seeds that started in our mother's womb. So at rolling the elbows around, you can do this in your bed. I'm doing a vertical Tai Chi right now, but you can do a horizontal Tai Chi. You can stand up and do these things, but just do them. Do them. Move the body. When you think about those monks that walked for over 2,000 miles and they're still alive and breathing, they just did it and they breathed and practiced mindfulness. So I'm all about sharing this wisdom with you so that you don't have to go to doctors all the time to take a new pill, which is that's what they do. They're nothing but a bunch of drug pushers. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And I've seen one family member just explode around his waist and he's on drugs. He's now addicted. So we want to avoid that if at all possible. So we did the shoulders, the elbows. Did we do the wrists? Let's do the wrists. The wrists are the self existing planetary portals. And when we do this action, we're going to strengthen our hands really when we're doing this. I gave myself the night before my 71st run around the sun, I gave myself a full hand and foot massage because I'm the only one here who can do that. And it felt so good. I got my castor oil out, I got some essential oils out. And when you do this type of pressure on your hands, you're stimulating your whole body because these hands are a map of your whole body. You have your colon that's right in here. You have your ears are in here. You have your everything in your whole body is on the. So when you take your other hand and press on this area, you might even feel pain somewhere in there that tells you just stay in that area and just massage a little bit more. And you do that every day, your body is going to be free of inflammation because what is it? It's just showing love. You're just showing love. So do that occasionally, every day, as often as you need to. Rub the hands together. Focus on the vagus nerve. Squeeze that area back there. Give the vagus nerve some stimulation. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. And then your lymphatic system can get a boost. You can help it drain by massaging under the ears. Massaging under the ears. This is releasing any toxins and any garbage that got stuck up in the lymphatic drainage. And then by massaging around the collarbone, breathing, your lymphatic system is on the go. You are not going to be holding on to any trash when you do this type of action, massaging and draining it out around the collar, and then activating it all in the hip area. So let's get on our back, and we're going to move the knees, and we're going to move the lower chakra areas from the root down is your lower chakra energy. So when you are rotating your knees and your ankles, you are activating the lymphatic system that drains from your midsection all the way down the legs, rotating the legs and the ankles. And if you can't rotate, just bend and point, or bend the knees and point. Lay in that bed until you get the blood flowing, bending and pointing. Don't get out of bed until you have moved your legs and your ankles, getting your circulation, lymph system, muscles working. Doing this work, especially with your around your knees, you're going to strengthen the muscles around your knees. And we want to try and avoid knee surgeries. But a lot of people are having knee surgery because the muscles are weak in that area. They haven't been doing their joint rolling. So when you rotate these legs or consciously stretch the muscles by bending and flexing, you're strengthening those muscles. Now let's get on our side. And this is where we want to get the energy flowing in our reproductive area. Too many women having surgery in this area, men having prostate issues. Why? Because you're not getting a good blood flow. So let's circulate the leg, moving the energy in the hip area, which is called the spectral and electric portals. Because, see, we're just one big machine here. This body is one big biological machine that operates best with movement. So, whatever you can do, whether it's slow, try and do it slowly first. Don't have to speed it up, really. Just make slow circles around in that area. And let's go to the other side, because balance is key. Circulating the leg, energizing the reproductive area and the sacral chakra. This is all it is it's not a woo-woo or new age word. Chakra is a word for energy centers or sacred geometry. Sacred geometry inside the body. This kingdom is full of sacred geometry. Let's reverse it. It's full of sacred geometry, swirling circles, veins and arteries and muscles. And just look at the fingerprint on your finger is a sacred geometry. So if you're unable to move in circles with your legs, just lift, and lower. Lay in bed every morning, give thanks. Thank you for this new day, and lift those legs and feel the energy circulating in this area, bringing new life, dumping all the garbage, the toxins, the waste products in your lymphatic system. And then you can even give yourself a massage around your navel, which will help your colon work better. Just giving some energy to this area helps the colon work better, especially if you're constipated. So let's bring the feet together. Let's rub the feet together, hands together. Warm up the body. Hug those knees. Say, I love you. Thank you for being the best body I could ever have, because it's all we got. And then twist over to the side and pull up. And let's just say thank you. Thank you to this body. Breathe in. Let's do some tapping, especially in this area for pain. Tap for pain. You have any pain, it's good to just touch and rub. Don't just tense up when you have pain. Go to work and start loving it, moving slowly if you can. Don't move too fast. Again, if you have pain, stop and breathe first, and then go to that area where the pain is and just either tap lightly or just give it a rub. But mainly the breath. Let the breath work for you to bring balance to the body. Don't forget that. That's what we do. So how are we feeling? Let me know in the chat if you have worked with me doing the meditative joint rolling. Let me know how you feel afterwards. Is it helping you, or should we change it? Slow down, fast, speed up? What's your response to the movement of your own body? How does it make you feel when we do these sessions? So, are you ready to hear from a cardiologist and stop worrying about your blood pressure? That's what we're going to do next. I'm going to get my tea and we're going to go move to my studio. So, we'll be back in just a moment. I learn again to live, to love, to just remain. So if you hear this song and feel alone, remember peace will guide you home. It's not out there, it's in your skin. You're not lost, you're just within. Peace within, that's where I begin. No need to prove, no need to win. In every breath, I learn again to live, to love, to just remain. So, welcome. We are in the studio of Health and Wellbeing with Viata in Viata's Tiny House Village. Florida weather has been pretty amazing. We are in summer, so if you're cold up there north, come on down to Florida. It's 80. It was 80 degrees the last few days. Now it's dropping again. I think we're going into the 50s, but it's still better than zero, which some of you have been experiencing up north. So let's see. We've got a comment here from Robert Young says, belated happy Earth Day birthday. Thank you, Mr. Young. I had an amazing 71st day around the sun yesterday with my family. My way of of celebrating is family and music and more music. And we had a fabulous time. Each of us did a dance and got rated by the others, and my grandchildren danced with me, which was a surprise. And we had cauliflower pizza and guacamole that I made and blue chips and no alcohol, no ice cream. My way of celebrating. I don't need alcohol and ice cream anymore. This is too late for that. I just don't need it. You know, every year people are celebrating their time around the sun, usually with lots of ice cream, sugar, cake, and all that, and alcohol some most time. I just don't need it anymore. I would want it at some time, but I'm so grateful I don't need it anymore. I can have so much fun without cake and ice cream and alcohol. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That deliverance has finally come, and I'm eating less and less sugar. I don't need that either because I'm waking up every morning. Today is going to be my peaceful day, so I'm not anxious for any drug or food to satisfy me because my day is peaceful. So thank you, Mr. Young. I did have a fabulous celebration of music, music, music. So let's talk about our heart, our blood pressure, because as I said, I have too many people in my family who are suffering because they trusted their doctors. And I'm telling you, if you go to the doctor with high blood pressure, I did that this year. My blood pressure was so high, it scared me. And instead of me just pausing and doing some more breath work, I said, oh, I need to go to the emergency room. I don't know why I did that. Other than I got a full workout, a blood workout, CAT scan, all that. By the time I got to the hospital, my blood pressure was normal. But they decided to do all these tests anyway on me. I don't know why I didn't have insurance. And they sent me a bill, and then they said the bill's been paid for. So I got all this data that said I'm in perfect health because my blood pressure went down and all the blood tests and everything, all the scans and all that said, well, everything's normal. We got some money out of whoever's paying for it. And now you can go home. So I want you to be educated and prepared for blood pressure fluctuations. And that's what we all deal with. My blood pressure was so high that night because I had coffee late. I had coffee. I was doing a puzzle that was so stressful. This puzzle was a Christmas puzzle someone gave me. It was all red, and I was having so much trouble finding the pieces. So I think for over an hour, I was just in stress mode about where are these pieces of the puzzle. And then I came home to my house and I did a little stretching and moving. I hadn't had any water. I was just drinking coffee, and my blood pressure went whoo. And it was late at night, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is not good." And I tried everything, and it didn't go down. I said, "Oh, I better go to the hospital." And I think the only reason I had to go to the hospital because I needed all this data to show after more than 10 years of not going to the hospital that everything's okay. So I'm done with hospitals. They paid for the bill because I'm a senior citizen, and everything's cool. No bankruptcy over medical bills. So let's get to the cardiologist who says, stop worrying about blood. Why would a cardiologist tell anybody this? I was shocked to find this video. I was pleasantly surprised to watch it. And I hope that it's going to help you come out of fear about blood pressure. Because that's what many of us do. Let's see, I got to go find it now. Many of us do with blood pressure, like I did. You get into fear. Let's see, got to find it now. Somehow I didn't bring it up. I brought it up yesterday, but then I took it down. I don't know why, but let me find this. So the thing about blood pressure, here we go. If you are a senior, for one, they recommend that you have a blood pressure machine in your house. Why? Right? Because it should help you, and even if you're not a senior. Okay, where is that? Okay, here we go. Even if you're not a senior, they recommend you keep a blood pressure machine in your house so that you can monitor your blood pressure. Why? Why do you have to do that? Because we've been told that that's how you can control your health better, or is it that that's how you know when you need to go to the doctor? That's basically so you can get a blood pressure pill, and pharmaceuticals can make more money. So let's look at the reality of it from a professional cardiologist who says, stop worrying about that. That's not what you need to be doing today, especially since doctors are being replaced by AI. There's so many things going on that you're going to have to change the way you think because AI is taking over. But let's listen to and it's a 56-minute video. I am not going to play the whole thing. I might jump around a little bit, but I want you to just get the main point of why you need to stop worrying about your blood pressure.
Can long-term high blood pressure lead to dementia?
Yes. If it is high, then that damage will translate into things like dementia, strokes, heart attacks. However, for many people, blood pressure, I believe, is not a disease. It is a symptom of something else. We end up treating the blood pressure and not addressing the root cause. But a poor lifestyle probably kills more people than anything else.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta is one of the UK's leading cardiologists based at York Teaching Hospital. His 3 decades of empowering patients have taught him that lifestyle management can be a critical way to support heart health.
A patient goes to their doctor, their blood pressure is up. The doctor says, we need to give you some tablets. The blood pressure goes down, and he thinks that is no longer a problem. However, the problem arises when the blood pressure is a symptom of the lifestyle, the obesity, the bad food.
What about our gut microbiome? Can that make a difference?
We can reduce our blood pressure through various mechanisms, one of which is through improving the composition of the gut microbiome.
Sarah Berry is a world leader in large-scale human nutritional studies, a professor in nutrition at King's College London, and chief scientist at Zoe.
We've done quite a lot of work looking at microbiome, and there's a different microbiome composition between people who have high blood pressure versus those that have normal blood pressure. And so by changing your diet, you can reduce the microbes that are associated with high blood pressure.
And just going and getting a pill to lower it is not the answer.
Are there any other factors that are also within our control that we can prevent this rise in blood pressure?
Sanjay, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And Sarah, thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
So Sanjay, we have a tradition here at Zoe where we always start with a quick fire round of questions from our listeners. And we have these very strict rules. You can give us a yes or a no, or if you have to, a one-sentence answer. You willing to give it a go?
Yeah.
All right. Can long-term high blood pressure lead to dementia?
Yes, absolutely.
Is low blood pressure always better than high?
No.
Can simple lifestyle changes lower your blood pressure significantly?
Yes,
Does alcohol help lower your blood pressure if you're stressed?
it may do.
Can your gut microbiome influence blood pressure?
Absolutely.
And finally, what's the most common misunderstanding about blood pressure?
The idea that blood pressure is a disease. For many people, blood pressure, I believe, is a scream. The body is screaming out and saying, I'm unhappy. And if we take the scream and make it a disease, then you end up treating the blood pressure, but not addressing the root cause of the scream. And in some ways, you do that patient a disservice.
I've definitely heard of high blood pressure, and I know that it's one of those things that lots of us are told by our doctors that we should worry about. But I can't be the only person who doesn't really understand what it means, why my blood pressure rises, and what it means for my health. So luckily, we have one of the UK's leading cardiologists to help us finally understand what it's all about. And we're joined by Professor Sarah Berry, who I discovered actually spent many years running clinical trials in humans looking at the impact of food on blood pressure. So I think we're in for a treat. Can we just start at the beginning, Sanjay? What is blood pressure?
Okay, to understand blood pressure, we have to understand pressure. And pressure is physiologically a formula, which is force over area. You exert some force over an area, and that equates to pressure. If you increase the force, you increase the pressure, provided the area remains the same. Or if you reduce the area and the force is the same, the pressure goes up. So blood pressure is the pressure exerted by blood on the area of our blood vessels. So the force is dictated by the heart rate and how much blood is coming out of the heart, because the heart is pumping the blood into these blood vessels. And the area is dictated by the radius of our arterioles, our blood vessels. So blood pressure will vary based on heart rate, how much blood is coming out of the heart, and also the surface area of our arterioles. So it is a constantly changing dynamic variable. It is not something which is static all the time, and this is a common misconception amongst the general public.
This is so important what he just said. It's a constantly changing variable and not something that stays the same most of the time, he's saying. So I, for one, have realized that even with my taking my own blood pressure, it varies all the time. It never stays the same. But as soon as it goes too low or too high, we panic. So that's why I believe this teaching is very important for us to begin to manage our own blood pressure by just breathing and changing our lifestyle.
And blood pressure will go up physiologically depending on what you're doing. So if you're moving, your heart rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up. If you are stressed, your blood pressure will go up. If you
Stress. Keep that in mind. Stress will definitely affect the blood pressure. My best response to stress is what? Deep breathing.
had too much salt, your blood pressure will go up.
Coffee.
If you're producing stress hormones, they cause our blood vessels to constrict. So
now that's again the stress. If you're producing too many stress hormones, where does that come from? Your adrenal glands are always pumping out stress hormones when you need it. So our adrenal glands just respond to our situation, our environment, and they pump it out as long as they need it. So what helps your adrenal glands calm down? Deep breathing.
area has gotten less and the blood pressure will go up. That is not a disease. That is just a response to the body in response to the things that that person is doing. Why is blood pressure important? Well, I'd liken it to a little bit like when you're trying to water your plants. You have to have a certain amount of pressure in your hose pipe to get the water to that plant. If you don't have enough of a pressure, the plant doesn't get the water and dies. If you have too much pressure, you damage the plant. And this is exactly how blood pressure works. It has to be within a certain range. If it's too low, then the patient's organs don't get the blood and those organs suffer. And if it's too high, you damage those organs by damaging the blood vessels. And that is why blood pressure is important. So you don't want it to be too low and you don't want it to be too high because you risk damaging the blood vessels.
Breathe to keep it balanced.
And therefore, those blood vessels then heal by clotting off, which means less blood gets to those organs.
And so, like during my day, if my heart rate goes up because I'm running to catch the bus, are you saying that literally because my heart rate has gone up, then suddenly my blood pressure goes up almost sort of in proportion to my heart rate?
Absolutely. And you can see this very starkly when you're watching Olympians, for example, weightlifters. When they're lifting all this weight above their head, you can see their blood vessels sticking out and their eyes ready to pop out, you know? And we don't see anything bad happen to them. We say, well, this is because they are exerting this amount of effort. It is in direct response to what they're doing. So the point is that our body and our body's blood vessels have the ability over a period of time to cope with certain pressures based on environmental factors, etc. The problem arises when, over a period of time, our blood vessels start losing their elasticity. And when our blood vessels start losing their elasticity, they can no longer stretch to accommodate some of that pressure, keeping that pressure down. And so if the blood vessels cannot stretch because of wear and tear, hardening, etc., that's when the blood pressure goes up. So one has to distinguish between, oh, is this just physiological? Is this because I'm just stressed? Is this because I'm just eating the wrong food? Or is there a harmful process going on in my body which is causing progressive hardening of my blood vessels, which then results in this sustained elevation in blood pressure?
And I would suggest that the hardening of the vessels is occurring when you hold on to deep emotional traumas for a long time, when they become not acute but chronic, where you're constantly for over the years, you're holding on to the death of a loved one, sadness, resentment, fear. If you're holding on to fear for a long time, your blood vessels are going to be affected. And that's why we want to let go of all those low frequency emotions, because he's saying right here, your blood vessels can be affected by the circulation, the blood in your body, and stress.
I think that in some people, the blood pressure is a symptom of something else, and it is probably the lifestyle, the obesity, the bad food, all that kind of thing that probably causes the blood pressure to be elevated and also contributes to type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, all that kind of thing. And that probably harms more people than just looking at blood pressure as a single variable. You know, I think that's really important to say. For example, what happens is a patient goes because they carry too much weight, they're stressed, they're not sleeping, they're eating all the wrong food. They go to their doctor, their blood pressure is up. The doctor says, your blood pressure is up. We need to give you some tablets. Tablets, the blood pressure goes down. The patient is happy. He's comforted by the fact that those tablets have done the job, and he thinks that is no longer a problem. But then you find that his HbA1c starts rising. And then he goes back to the doctor. And again, perhaps the HbA1c going up is another scream from that unhappy body.
This is so common, it's ridiculous. What he's describing, the average person's reaction or response to their blood pressure being high, going into a sick care system and getting a pill and thinking they're okay and they can eat what they want because they have a pill to control their blood pressure. And then the side effect from that pill takes over. They're back in the doctor's office. And guess what? The doctor has another pill. Your holistic doctor will stop and say, let's look at your weight. Let's try and get your weight down because you're a little overweight. Maybe that's what will help your blood pressure more than another pill. But no, no, no. The sick care system and the pharmaceutical industry says, let's push another pill on this person. And it kind of angers me because why are you doing this? You're mistreating the patient. You're actually harming the patient when you do that, because what are they going to deal with? Side effects, and more side effects.
So I think it's very important that we start realizing that some of these things are symptoms, not conditions of their own accord.
I'm not understanding the harm yet. So long term, like I understand I don't want to die of a heart attack or I don't want to get dementia. Help me to understand if this blood pressure keeps up high long term. Like, do I care about these little clots in my tiny blood vessels?
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, if this is happening every day, the amount of blood getting to your vital organs is going to go down substantially. That's how all these things happen. So it's not a case of the blood pressure is not doing anything to your body and suddenly you have a heart attack 10 years down the line and someone says, oh, it's the blood pressure that caused this. Something has to be happening on a microscopic level over a sustained period of time. And then it translates into macroscopic damage, stuff that you can see. So dementia isn't a case of you're fine, and then something happens and you develop dementia. It is a progressive, insidious, slow process that's going on in the brain that gets missed because the person looks fine. You know, on the outside, the person looks fine, they feel fine, but what is going on in their bodies? So if you look at hypertensive patients, for example, patients with true high blood pressure, and if you look in their eyes, for example, you will see evidence of bleeding within the retina. And that is a very good marker. It tells you that that number is too high for that patient. The problem we have is...
Now, this really hits home because one of my relatives, former relatives, I would say, has had high blood pressure for many years, been taking 2 or 3 blood pressure medication, and now he's having bleeding in the eyes. He also took the jab in 22, 23, whenever. And so this person is slowly manifesting all the side effects and the blood pressure problem, even though they are on blood pressure medication. That's why this information is so important for you and your family to know. Please share this with your family so that we can avoid the early deaths that we're going to see when people are ignorant and they don't want to love themselves more.
We have this kind of value, and everyone says, oh, a blood pressure of 140/90 is high, treat it. But we're all different. So that number in a 90-year-old has very different connotations to a 20-year-old and someone who's an athlete compared to someone who is elderly and very frail. You can't treat them in the same way. The benefit-risk ratio of medications changes based on who that patient is.
And Sanjay, could you explain what those different numbers are that you've mentioned? So many listeners, I assume nearly all listeners will have had their blood pressure measured at some point and will have been told, you know, there's these 2 different numbers. Can you explain what they mean?
So the 2 numbers that we commonly measure blood pressure with is a systolic number, a top number, and a diastolic number, which is the bottom number. The systolic pressure is the highest pressure your blood vessels are exposed to and is the pressure which happens when the heart is actually pumping blood out into the vessels. So if I had a balloon, for example, the systolic would be me blowing into the balloon, and that pressure is the systolic pressure. The diastolic pressure is if I then put my fingers at the end of that balloon, there's still a pressure which is being exerted by the recoil of that balloon onto the thing. So if I let my hand go, the balloon flies off because of this pressure. That is the diastolic pressure. So the systolic pressure tells you about the heart rate, about how much blood is coming out of the heart, and it tells you about the capacity of the blood vessels to accommodate that pressure. The diastolic pressure is all about elastic recoil of the blood vessels. So it tells you about the health of your blood vessels. It has nothing to do with the heart, etc., etc. The question then is, which is more important? And the systolic is more important in terms of treatment because it is the higher pressure. If your blood vessels can tolerate a pressure of 140, then we shouldn't really be too worried about a pressure of 100 because it is a lower pressure, and the way the pressure damages you is The higher the value, the more likely you're going to get damaged. However, the diastolic does tell you a little bit about the health of your blood vessels. So when it comes to treating, lifestyle will help both. Medications tend to just lower the pressure. And that is the difference. So the systolic blood pressure is more important in terms of the harm the number does to you. But both values tell you a little bit about what's going on in your body.
And could you summarize what you think the target numbers that people should be aiming for? I know that that's a tricky question for a cardiologist.
I don't believe that high blood pressure or low blood pressure is a bunch of numbers. It is what that number is doing to that patient, which is very much aligned with what you guys do, individualized medicine. High blood pressure is blood pressure that does that patient harm. It's not a number. But if a 90-year-old comes to me with a blood pressure of 150 over 90, I wouldn't automatically rush in and say, oh, here, you must take a tablet, etc. In fact, doing that will just raise that person's blood pressure further. So I would say, hey, look, you're here. You are 90 years old. The more important thing in your case is quality of life, not, oh, I'll give you a tablet and suddenly guarantee that you'll live till 95.
This guy is so rare. I love him. I love him. I love him because you do not find doctors like this every day. I hope you have enjoyed listening to him. I'm going to go on to my next video about the trees. I want you to hear about the tree. But if you want to listen to this whole show, it's called Cardiologist Explains Why You Should Stop Worrying About. I'm going to put that in the chat. So you can listen to this guy is amazing. He's not your typical drug pusher. And if I had a doctor like this, I'd go to him whenever I needed to. I don't need to, but this is the way doctors should be thinking. And we don't have that, unfortunately. Cheers to the cardiologist, that's a holistic cardiologist. And they actually go into more conversation about your microbiome, how that affects your blood pressure. But that guy's got it. You should not be going to a doctor and expecting to get another pill for anything. If you have a doctor that's pushing drugs, you're going to a drug pusher and you need to find someone who's not pushing drugs. But one of the solutions that I highly, highly recommend is trees. Trees. We got to go to the trees. And I saw this amazing video that I want to play a little bit of about the science behind why you should touch a tree every day. And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this can be an easy, free solution. Go to the tree. People think that's weird. I remember watching a video of my friend Zelda in Chicago, and she was filming herself walking in Chicago, and she asked her husband if he wanted to touch the tree. He said, oh, no, I don't want to touch the tree. Why? Because he didn't have this knowledge. So let me play this. Hopefully he'll change his mind when he realizes how our creator, the universe, is full of solutions that we have ignored and that are free. You don't even need insurance if you have this kind of knowledge. So let me play. This is amazing. Why you should touch the tree. This is science now. It's a 30-minute video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I hope you just get the gist of the magic and the solutions and the therapy in the tree.
You've touched a tree before. You touched it and walked away. Something you could not see and could not feel started inside your body the moment your hand met that bark. And it was still going 7 days later. And the thing you touched is not what you think it is. The question nobody asks is why? What is a tree doing to your body without a single chemical pill? The answer involves what wood is actually made of, what is happening underneath every forest floor, and why the oldest living thing on earth has never aged a single day. Hold your hand out in front of you. Look at your fingertips. You have touched thousands of things today. A doorknob, a coffee cup, your phone, the fabric of your clothes. You have never touched a single one of them. Not once in your entire life. The electron clouds around the atoms in your skin repel the electron clouds in everything you reach for. Electromagnetic force pushes back across a gap that never closes. What you feel as contact is force across empty space. every texture you have ever known, every handshake, every surface you have pressed your palm against. Electromagnetic repulsion. Your brain interprets the force as touch, but the gap is always there. So when you put your hand on a tree, your skin does not meet the bark. But something does cross that gap, not through contact, through the air between you. And the physics of what crosses that gap is the first thing nobody ever explains. Trees release molecules into the air around them, not occasionally, constantly. Constantly. These are volatile organic compounds, molecules with low enough molecular mass and high enough vapor pressure to transition from liquid to gas at ordinary temperatures and atmospheric pressure. That is a physics threshold, not a biology one. Whether a molecule becomes airborne depends on intermolecular forces, how tightly the molecules grip each other. Below a certain molecular weight and above a certain vapor pressure, the molecule escapes into the gas phase. Alpha-pinene, beta-pinene, D-limonene, 1,8-cineol. These molecules are light enough and loosely bound enough to float. They have a name, phytoncides, and that word does not mean what people selling essential oils want you to think it means. It was coined in 1928 by a Russian biologist named Boris Tokin, and it literally translates to exterminated by the plant. These are chemical defense weapons. Trees manufacture them to kill bacteria, fungi, and insects that threaten the tree's survival. The tree is not releasing pleasant aromas. It is waging chemical warfare on everything small enough to be destroyed by airborne molecules. Here is the physics that matters. Once these molecules enter the gas phase, they follow the same rules every gas follows. Fick's law of diffusion. Molecules move from regions of high concentration to regions of low concentration along a gradient. The tree is the source. Maximum concentration at the bark surface. The air around the tree is the gradient field. Concentration drops with distance according to an inverse relationship. 1 hectare of pine forest, about 2.5 acres, releases roughly 5 kilograms of phytoncides into the air every single day.
Now, all of that scientific information could get boring for some, but it's exciting for me because I've been doing trees for a while, and I definitely know they help me and my energy and my emotions. In every way, I become so admiring the trees, loving the trees, expecting from the trees, protection from the trees, love, beauty, everything. So I hope that little piece, and I put in the chat all the names of the videos I'm playing today, so you can listen to more if you're interested in more science about the tree. We have a caller here that I'm going to allow to speak now. Mama AZ, did you have a comment you'd like to make? Your mic is open. Okay, Mama AZ called in. Your mic is open if you'd like to speak.
Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Do you have a comment?
I do. That picture that I sent you and a few other of my family members, that's a priestess's Viridina spot. And that tree has been calling me, oh my God, for ages. And then when I got here at Haven Health, it's a cousin, a relative of priestess's tree and where she lives. And I started going over there and putting the grand ones around. They were even calling me to take them to her tree, her grandmother's tree. And let me tell you, while I was working and raking in my bare feet, when I got all the thorns up, I had less pain or no pain at all. And you remember when I had that procedure, the hip, my whole hip. Well, what happened? I had a cobalt rod in my hip, and it ate through my bone, completely ate through my bone. And Dr. Goodman says, I don't see how you did not feel this. I've never seen anything like this. You know why? I had a campground for 14 years in North Carolina, High Point. That's a furniture town. And I worked in the soil and around the trees, Dr. V, and I would bury myself in a pit. 14 years, and it took the pain away. So this video about the trees is amazing, and people think I'm crazy, but it's okay because I am a testimony. Even if your bone is broken, I know you can bury yourself in dirt around a tree. And I'm telling you, that energy from the roots, all you have to do is just dig a little hole, a pit. If you can't do that, just dig it low enough, deep enough to just put your feet in and maybe up to your ankle. Not your ankles, but your knee bone. Knee surgeries would be a lot less if people would earth and hug trees or sit next to a tree. I know what these trees, the one here at Haven Health in Sierra Vista and New Edina's grandmother tree, for a week. And even last night, I went and took a grand one that we had gotten from Sedona, Arizona. And I'm telling you, trees are amazing. And thank us. I can go on and on and on. But thank us.
Thank us
Thank
is
us.
right. Thank you for that testimony, because people are in doubt that trees can do what we say they do. I don't know why. Because when you look at your thumbprint, what does your thumbprint have on it? It has circular lines. This is sacred geometry here. When you look at the lines in your fingers, thank you, Mama Az, for your testimony. You have sacred geometry going all throughout your body. I did a show on this a couple of weeks ago. Look up the sacred geometry, study sacred geometry. So all throughout your body is swirls of energy, your chakras, your thumbprint, your circulate. When you connect with the tree, you're connecting with the most powerful sacred geometry on the planet. Trees have been here forever. And so that sacred geometry has lasted. It's pulsating. That tree, as long as that tree is standing and producing flowers and leaves every day, it's energy producing for us. It's for us, the people, the humans. Thank you, tree. That's why I thank trees when I walk. I hug trees. I touch trees, because we have been spiritually blind to the therapies and the healing energy from nature. So one more video I want to share with you. I know we're past the hour, but I'm flexible. How you need to protect your energy, why you need to protect your energy. And Ralph Smart is going to give us a little wisdom about protecting our energy right now, because there's a lot of fear around us. The Antichrist is roaring like a lion. And that energy is everywhere, but it won't touch you if you protect your energy. This war over in Iran, an Iranian woman put it very well. She's a medical professional. And she said, when you get cancer, there are many ways to treat that cancer, heal the cancer. And many people will try natural alternative medicine to treat the cancer. That's like diplomacy in the worldview of things. We rarely do it, but when you have a conflict going on, like in your body with cancer cells growing, You'll try diplomacy with other nations. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's take some herbs. Let's do some things with the body to try and reduce the conflict, right? And then she expressed how war is like chemotherapy. When the diplomacy doesn't work, like in Iran, unfortunately, they have tried diplomacy for many, many years, and they've been killing more women every year. And I like to demonstrate now how, I wear a head wrap because I have the freedom to do this. I wear different color head wraps. I can take it off and wear my hair if I like. I can take this off and wear a bikini and walk around, and very few people will say anything because I've seen it. As I said the other day, I went to SeaWorld because I have annual passes thanks to my youngest son who's been working there almost 20 years. And I walked around and I was just amazed at how women were dressed. The men are dressed like men, shorts and a t-shirt. The women, bikinis galore. That's all I can say. It's everywhere. It's like, I try not to be shocked at the appearance of the clothes that some of the women were not wearing. Just showing everything. But that's the freedom in the United States of America. Women can dress whatever the hell they want and just and cause men to be in a state of shock or what. Women, I was in shock. But that's the freedom we have. Iran, women don't have that freedom. They've been killed, not only killed for trying to express that freedom, raped, murdered, whatever, suppressed. You just wear a black covering and a black robe. That's what you're going to do. That's the Antichrist spirit that I see now today clearly in the country of Iran. And so back to my point, the war is like chemotherapy. It's harsh. It kills some cells. Like we've had American soldiers die over there. We've had Iranians that people are dying in a war, but that's what chemotherapy does. When your diplomacy doesn't work because there's resistance to cooperate and go to the tree, for instance, you have to go to harsher means, and they use chemo to kill people. Really, they go to chemo. The chemo probably does more damage than it does help in the long run, especially. My point is this: energy, energy, energy. Think energy. Love energy every morning. Today is going to be my peaceful day. That's one energy that you want to put out first thing in the morning. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Write it down, write it down. I can't tell you how well that works. It is working in my life, changing my grandchildren, I mean, just everything is just different. Cooperation, protect everything. Today is going to be my peaceful day. I'm going to say it. I'm going to give it to, it works. Now, Ralph Smart's going to show us how we need to protect our energy, because the spirit that's operating right now is resisting not only the war, but resisting diplomacy and resisting the peace that the monks put out. There's a resistance going on. The Epstein files was just a revelation of all the evil that's been hidden. Yay, yay, yay. Bring it out, bring it out, bring it all out, all this evil. And now protect your energy. This is what we need to be aware of as we leave today. I want you to think about every day the different ways that you need to protect your energy. And my friend Ralph Smart is going to give us a quick message on how that's done.
There's no place I'd rather be than with the birds, bees, leaves, and trees. Let's breathe. Whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby.
Yes.
I'm charged up, raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration, sending you all tons of good ass energy. Take that, take that, take that. The cat down the road said you received it. Deep divers, you need to protect your energy right now. I said you need to protect your energy right now, because there is so much happening in the world. Tensions are high. People are fighting. People are arguing. And I'm just here in the heart of nature, chilling. The cat down the road. Look, there is some very important information I want to share with you today, deep divers, because I know a lot of people are going through it. Someone actually asked me, they're like, Ralph, how can we stay calm in these uncertain times, right? Because so much is happening. Stay tuned for this information. I want all of you right now to hit the like button if you support the real. hit the like button right now if you support The Real, because we got a whole lot to talk about. And shout out to everyone who's got the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive, on Amazon. And go and get the brand new book, Feel Alive 2, Unlock Your Infinite Power. The secret recipe to becoming your greatest version is now available on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook. Click the link down below. And join the brand new Patreon page. Over 300 videos designed to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/ralphsmart. Click the link down below. And go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts. All new designs you're going to love, deep divers. ralphsmart.com/clothes. Click the link down below. So, if you are watching this video, first and foremost, this is your confirmation. You are being protected by the universe today, tomorrow, and forever. If you're ready to affirm that, just say thank you.
Thank you.
A lot is happening right now in the world, deep divers. A war is happening. And I'm here to tell you, you have to protect your energy now more than ever. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? Hey. So let me share with you this very important information, deep divers. First and foremost, you don't have to drag yourself into the storm that's happening out there. Let me repeat that. You don't have to drag yourself into the storm that's happening out there. You can pull people into your peace. Now, the truth is, deep divers, it is happening. You can't deny it's not happening. The world is on shaky grounds right now. Well, the world is looking a little bit shaky, baby. And that's the reason why you have to realize that your calmness is a superpower right now. Slow motion this side. Your calmness is a superpower right now. You need to protect your energy right now, deep divers. I realized today that everything happening around you does not deserve access to your nervous system. Let me repeat that. I said everything happening around you does not deserve access to your nervous system. One more time. Everything happening right now on the planet does not deserve access to your nervous system. Right now, take a look at the media. War, bombs, chaos, confusion. Be careful, deep divers, because you don't want to absorb all of that negative energy. Every single day, I'm grounding myself in the heart of nature. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby, because I know that being calm right now is not weakness. It's actually strategic strength. It's the calmest people right now who are the most powerful. Don't allow what's happening out there to control what's happening in here. Let me repeat that. Don't allow what's happening in the world out there to control what's happening in here. Deep divers, every single day I'm balancing my energies because I know we are in testing times right now on the planet. At the same time, I am an alchemist. I realize my attention is the currency they want. Your attention is the currency they need. Prioritize your attention on something that can help you evolve to the next level. I'm not consuming fear-based media. I'm not focusing on the problem, I'm focusing on the solution. When I talk about these current events, deep divers, what am I doing? I'm giving you a perspective that can help you elevate and evolve past the madness. You see, the inorganic ones are feeding off your fear, your loose energy. They're feeding off your grief. They're feeding off your suffering. It's all done by design. This was planned a long time ago. Don't give them it. Don't give them it, deep divers. Choose love, not fear right now. Choose peace, not war right now. Choose nature right now. It's so beautiful out here. Remind yourself, deep divers, the world is still beautiful. This is still heaven on earth. I know when you look at the world right now, it seems like it's World War III, where they tricked you. They always need to steal your attention. to make you focus on bad news, because whatever you focus on grows. You need to protect your energy right now, deep divers. Remind yourself that you can focus on what grows you. You can focus on what empowers you, and you can create the new earth. You can create your own reality. You can create your own reality by realizing, yes, the world is in a bad state, but we must be the change we wish to see in the world. Just because the world is loud right now, I don't have to absorb the noise. I said, just because the world is loud right now, it's really loud right now, I don't have to absorb the noise. You see, the truth is, deep divers, awakening, a worldwide awakening is happening. Millions of people are waking up. They're realizing that actually they don't want to be a part. They don't want to be a part of this broken system that's full of fear, doom and gloom. They want to be in the 5D, doing a little samba, baby, raising the frequency with a cat down the road. And you can. But you must start vibrating in a love frequency. You must realize that we have all been divided on this planet, all done by design. They got you hating your neighbor. They got you hating people you don't even know. That's crazy. The truth is, it's one humanity. The truth is, we are all connected. Everyone bleeds red. You got people right now fighting over land they don't even own. You can't take it with you. It's monopoly, deep divers. It all goes back in the box. You need to protect your energy right now. And how do I do this every single day? As soon as I wake up, I'm not checking my phone. I'm not scrolling the news feed. I'm connecting within. As soon as I wake up, I'm getting my butt into the heart of nature. There's no Wi-Fi out here, but I swear there's a better connection. When I do take a look at what's happening in the world, I see a way out. I'm not focusing on how bad it's going to get. I'm focusing that this is a wake-up call to humanity to realize that war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. You need to protect your energy right now. A way you can do this is limit the time you spend on fear-based media. Have a higher bird's eye view, a new perspective to realize that actually you didn't come to this world to live in suffering. You didn't come to this world to focus on war. Find something that makes you realize that this is actually heaven on earth.
So that is the message of Ralph Smart that I just could not let it pass without sharing it with you. It was such a powerful message for me that we need choosing love over fear, choosing to know that you are strategic strength when you keep your calm, when you stop reacting to the events around us, the evil around us, the war around us. You have strategic strength. It's not weakness at all, it's strength. And just realizing that calmness is a superpower in these days, because as he said, they're feeding off of the fear of people. Just like in COVID, they fed off the fear so that they could jab people with the chemicals that would weaken their bodies and take some out and reduce the population. Here we go again, here we go around the mulberry bush. Here, there's the wheel of craziness is here again. But we're here to tell you, me and my partners, the people that I share on this platform are holistic, they're conscious, they're awakened. And I partner with those YouTubers who are giving out a message of empowering yourself to be better, to be strong, and to be in peace. So I hope this message has been helpful for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Spread the word. We are going to be the change makers this year when we stay in peace and calm and support one another. So I hope you'll support me in any way you can. Like and subscribe. If you want to donate, my Cash App is $ Beata Robinson. If you gotten anything out of this, please donate. If you send any donation, I'll send you one of my books, either it's Vegetable Soup for the Soul or you can get my book From Fear to Faith for $8 to Cash App. But let's work together to change this world, to eliminate the war and bring more peace, especially right here. It starts right here. Here we are, peace within. So everybody, please go out and get some sun. As Ralph Smart said, get in the heart of nature. When you wake up in the morning, get your joint rolling, going, fly, fly, fly. First, love yourself. Get your affirmation going. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Don't even get out of bed without writing that down. Today is going to be my peaceful day. You're going to see it happen in some amazing ways, especially around the world, when more and more of us decide and choose peace over war, peace within. So everybody, please get out, have a good day, get some sun. Namaste, Satnam, Aho, Aho, Ashe, 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 O, and always Shalom, Shalom. Thank you for joining me this morning. Spread the word and let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get tiny in our living, reduce materialism. Let's change the world by changing ourselves first. All right. Shalom.